Hey everyone and welcome back to the sports section. So I want to touch on a couple of topics here. First of all, the 200 IQ move by the Chelsea owners. We might not always like their football moves, but when it comes to financial loopholes and everything that has to do with money, unless it's a transfer, of course, but all the rest with regards to the pure business things, we gotta hand it to them, right? They always find the loopholes, they always find ways to make things work. We're going to talk about that, which will lead us into the transfer decisions, because thanks to that, we are now not forced anymore to sell players in June, which we've touched on yesterday. By the way, to me, there is only one S-tier guy that I'm listening to, and that's David Ornstein. Everybody else, unless it's Fabrizio for players, everybody else is just pure rumors and BS at this point. Yesterday, Sky Sports, Chelsea are forced to sell players in June. Today, Chelsea are not forced to sell. I mean, what? Anyways, I want to touch on that. I want to touch on Conor Gallagher, a couple of players, our new signing, Tosin. I already enjoyed his first interview. You already see the aura, the positive aura that he brings to the club. I mean, I think he's going to be one of the leaders on the pitch. I mean, he's already gigantic, but I think his character is going to be a big positive for us next season. Then touching a little bit on what will happen in the next video, I'm going to compare Julian Alvarez to Benjamin Sesko. We already touched on this yesterday. I read all of your comments, took some notes. We're going to compare both of those, and then we'll conclude the affairs here. First up, touch all the buttons. Like, subscribe, notification bell. We're going to be very busy in the next coming weeks and months. I really want to grow this channel as much as possible this year, especially before the new seasons start, so we can already have our community and then discuss more over the games through live streams and other things as well. I want you to participate in all the discussions as much as possible. So hit all the buttons, and now let's start. So first things first, Premier League fails with attempt to close financial fair play loophole. By the way, this whole thing of Chelsea is cheating. No, it's not cheating if it is legal. It would be cheating if that loophole did not exist. Cheating would be what Manchester City have been doing for quite a while, unless they are proven not guilty. We'll see what happens with that. Anyways, couple of points here I want to summarize. The Premier League tried to close a loophole allowing clubs to use one-off profits from assets like sales of stadiums to meet financial fair play rules. The proposal failed to get enough votes, 11 out of 20 clubs, for approval. Some clubs felt the ban was too broad and restricted income from legitimate ventures. The league will likely revise the proposal and try again. The league also lost votes on requiring clubs to self-report FFP breaches and requiring clubs to consult the league before suing them. Interesting. The league did get informal approval to test a financial model tying spending to the lowest revenue club's income. And the last one here with regards to the VAR, proposal from clubs to scrap video assistant referees or VAR and increase allowed losses were rejected. I believe everybody was against the scrapping of VAR besides Wolverhampton. And now, because we are not forced to sell players in the month of June, suddenly there's a different discussion going on right now. Because if we were forced, then probably we would be pushing those 4 players, or at least the top 3 players, well, top 2 players and Armando Broja, to be sold in the month of June, probably Lukaku as well, and then maybe Kepa and some others. But now that we're not forced, who would you like, let's say, to stay at the club? Me personally, you probably already know my decision. If I had to choose 2 players to stay at the club, it would probably be Ian Maatsen and Conor Gallagher. Ian Maatsen because he's versatile. If we're looking to add someone left back, inverted full back, stuff like that, I think he showed at Dortmund that he can be that player. There's no need to go spend extra money. Although Calafiori, if we can get him, I think we should be doing that. And then of course, Conor Gallagher, there's no way in hell that I would want to sell him. Even if somebody comes with a bid at £60 million, I'm still saying no, because some people will say he doesn't fit the Enzo Maresca system. I don't agree. Enzo Maresca system, yes, is possession based. Yes, it's playing with the ball. But how do you get the ball? You need someone to go tackle, to run, to recover the ball, right? Someone strong, someone with some presence. Who's been doing that? Yes, you have the Moises Caicedo, But have you seen us play Moses Caicedo and Gallagher? We were dominating the midfield. I think he can fit the Enzo Maresca system pretty well. If he can suddenly add more goals, like he has been doing at Crystal Palace, I think we're going to see a completely different player. So in my opinion, if I had to choose 2 to keep, 2 to sell, it's probably going to be Maatsen and Gallagher to stay at the club, Chalobah and Broja to be sold. Especially now that we've got Tosin, I don't see a spot where Trev stays at the club. For him as well, right? He wants to play. I don't think he wants to spend another season on the bench. So if we have to sell, it's probably going to be those two, and also, of course, Lukaku, Kepa, and the rest of them. Up next, quickly going back to what we discussed yesterday, right? We covered this. Liam told me Chelsea do not necessarily need to sell Gallagher. We've talked about the reasons why, right? The guaranteed sales of Loophole, the proceeds of Mason Mount. Then there were also the 11 and 14 million pounds from add-ons in clauses of loan and transfer deals last season. All of that meant that we were not breaching any rules, or at least we had enough money coming in to not breach those rules. So that's one saga already done. Remember, it's always great to have people that know the rules better than the institutions, right? We've seen that also with Jose Mourinho, that John Terry story, when he went down and then he asked, I think, a second player to go down as well. If there are two players, I don't remember the story, but he basically knew the rules for them to stay on the pitch without leaving the pitch. A bit of the same here. You know the financial loopholes better than the Premier League, and then the Premier League starts to cry. But hey, you didn't cheat. You followed the rules. Those are the rules. Just like in politics and other stuff, you can bend the rules to your will as long as it's not illegal. Anyways, next thing, Michael Olise. Why do we want Michael Olise? Why do Manchester United want Michael Olise as well? The Athletic here showed us a couple of things. The first one is the chances created, the assists and the shots and the goals. Very, very easy to understand. He's coming from the right. He's very, very successful coming from the right. Of course, being a left-footed player, that's a given, right? We know they like to drop the shoulder. We know they like to do the Robben type of shots, Robben type of crosses as well. Then you can clearly see where his open play chances are created. In that corner here, 35% happen in that corner, and then 42% of the other chances happen, well, let's say in the half of the opponent's half. And 15%, of course, a bit closer to the goal. We, of course, have Noni Madueke, who is supposed to do the same thing. Maybe not at the same level at Olise, but we already have one player that probably performs in the same scenarios the same way as Olise would. But in my opinion, Olise is I would say a better playmaker. That's just my opinion from watching him. Maybe Noni Madueke could grow into that position, but to have those two options, I mean, it would be a premium, but it's worth having. Last thing here is, of course, Tosin Adarabioyo. Welcome to the club. Couple of comments here from the co-sporting directors. We are delighted to bring Tosin to Chelsea. Throughout his career, he has showcased his maturity and defensive quality and has gained a wealth of experience in the Premier League in recent seasons. This was definitely something we would be looking at, especially now that Thiago Silva has left the club. He's ready to make the step up to Chelsea and work alongside the talented players in our squad. We look forward to Tosin joining up with us for pre-season. I think he's going to perform extremely well for us next season. But of course, let's see what happens in pre-season. Do share your thoughts down in the comment section below. If you enjoy this type of videos, leave it a thumbs up, subscribe if you have not, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye.